All right, folks, welcome back to Discussions with Dr. G. I'm Dr. G, your resident nurse, educator, and occasional wrangler of both students and house cats. Today we're getting into one of my favorite topics, family. And not just the nuclear family from like the 1990s sitcoms. I'm talking about what family means now in real life in all its messy, glorious forms. So what is a family? I might get some textbook answers in class, but honestly, family is any social unit whose ups and downs can seriously impact not just each member, but the well-being of the entire community. It's dynamic. You've got your classic nuclear units, right? Parents and kids under one roof. But then there are blended families, single parent setups, same-sex couples raising kids, grandparents stepping in, folks who are chosen family. And then my favorite, families where the household isn't just humans. I'll never forget one home visit where the family literally included 3 generations, 3 cats, and wait for it, a pet iguana named Steve. Steve was the main source of drama that day, which just proves the point. Families are what folks say they are, and every structure matters. Now, why does this all matter in community health? Well, the structure and function of a family wraps right around their ability to bounce back from tough stuff, crisis, illness, surprise iguana emergencies, you name it. For example, in some communities, extended families offer that crucial safety net. In others, tight-knit, chosen families step in. The bottom line, understanding what makes up family is job number 1 if you want to support health or help them weather a storm. Speaking of weathering storms, let's talk about different kinds of risks families face and how community health nurses actually figure those out. So imagine you're heading out on a visit, clipboard in hand, probably already sweating through your scrubs, and you're thinking, okay, what can put this family's health at risk? There's the big 3, biological, environmental, and behavioral risks. That's like everything from family history of diabetes to moldy old apartments to fast food habits or forgetting cancer screenings. But here's where it's not just doom and gloom. Yeah, we look at risks, but we also use a strengths-based approach. That means we notice what's going well and use that to support healthier choices. The tools? Oh, let me nerd out for a minute. There's the genogram, which lets you map out family patterns through generations. It's a visual, like a family tree, with extra info on who had what illness. Pop quiz. Do you know whether high blood pressure runs through the maternal or paternal side? Haha, the genogram's got you. Then there's the eco map, which basically shows how families connect with the resources or stressors outside of the home. School, work, the one uncle who's always in and out of the ER on holidays, you name it. Tools like the family app car let us measure things like affection, partnership, and how the family adapts to change. And the social determinants of health, of course that's big. It looks at how factors like food access or income can shape their outcomes. I can't emphasize this enough. Health literacy is huge. I once sat in a kitchen with a family trying to decipher medical paperwork, insurance letters stacked in a 3-ring binder, and color-coded sticky notes everywhere. They were so sharp, but the system had made everything so confusing, it was almost funny. Well, you gotta laugh or you cry, right? Part of our job is to help families make sense of all of that so that they can advocate for themselves. Now, let's get a little more hands-on. What do we actually do with all this info? It starts with family-centered care planning, right? Sounds fancy, but really it's about identifying real problems, not just what's in their chart, but what matters to the family. Maybe there's a risk of asthma flare-ups because the household smokes, or maybe it's food insecurity. Either way, we're setting SMART goals, which are, let me see if I remember, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Sometimes they're not always smart the first time, but hey, that's what revisions are for. Interventions? These could mean anything from running a hypertension clinic to doing blood pressure checks to teaching a family how to store asthma meds safely, or even just helping them set up a kid's immunization schedule. In-home visits are gold because you get to see the real deal, not just the public version from clinic visits. You can spot who's actually running the show, who speaks up, and who sneaks the extra snacks to Steve the iguana. But you can't do it solo. Nurses are always partnering with social workers, public health teams, schools, sometimes even folks over at housing or local food programs. A great example, you ask? Sure. During COVID, all those social determinants of health, housing, income, access, they became way more obvious. Nurses ended up being advocates, not just for individual families, but for entire communities, especially those hit hardest by inequity. And new nurses, honestly, you have more power than you think. You can lead and you can ask the hard questions, like, why is it always this family facing food insecurity or struggling to access care? All right, that is it. I'm done. Understanding the family's role in health helps us to do a better job, period. Next time you step into a home, remember, families come in all shapes and sizes and species even, and our job is to help them find their strengths, navigate their risks, and get what they need together. Thank you for hanging out with me. Next time we'll keep exploring more real-world nursing, one chaotic family at a time.